Welcome back to the channel. I trust that you're doing well. We're seeing some more positive price action across the crypto market, at least at the time of making this video. We're also seeing some more major mainstream adoption of not only Bitcoin, but also crypto. We're seeing large accumulations and some rotations from Bitcoin into Ethereum. So we're going to be covering all of that in this video. And we're also going to look at the price action chart of Ethereum. We're going to do SUI, XRP, as well as Solana. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to leave me a like, hit subscribe for future content, and let's get into the video. And starting out on CoinMarketCap, we're seeing plenty of green straight across the board. We're seeing Bitcoin up 4.65% in the last 7 days. We see Ethereum up 20% in the last 7 days, and XRP up 31.67% in the last 7 days. We'll take a closer look at Ethereum and XRP towards the end of this video, so stick around. We see that the market cap has increased to 3.83 trillion. That's the overall market cap of crypto, up 0.5%. The 24-hour trade volume is up 13% to 209 billion, and Bitcoin dominance sitting at 61.8%, so falling just slightly, giving the alts a little bit of room to breathe. And taking a quicker look at the Bitcoin dominance, we can certainly see that bleed to the downside right here, and currently coming into contact with the 200 simple moving average down below. Yep, this is certainly giving the alt sector a chance to breathe, which is quite nice, but you'll notice if I zoom this out, that Bitcoin dominance still hasn't broken any major structure. Remember folks, alt season looks like this right here. Bitcoin and crypto adoption continues to accelerate around the world. We have this just in. Bitcoin Archive says Australian Bitcoin holders can now use crypto as collateral for mortgages. So much for magical internet money. We have another country acknowledging that Bitcoin and crypto has value and can now be used as collateral for mortgages, further legitimizing this industry. And one day this is likely just to be par for the course. And we're beginning to see signs that some new buyers are beginning to enter the market for Bitcoin. Here from Bitcoin News, we got the Bitcoin supply held by new buyers rose 2.86%. from 4.77 million to 4.91 million BTC since early July. If we look at this chart here, powered by Glassnode, we can see first-time buyers are in this green down below. You can see they're beginning to skyrocket here. And you can see that the Bitcoin price is in this black line chart down below. So some new buyers, some fresh blood is now entering the market. And we've got more good news emerging for Ethereum. We got this just in. BlackRock files to add staking to its Ethereum ETF. So in the future, it's very possible that not only will folks be able to hold an Ethereum ETF, but they'll be able to stake that Ethereum to collect passive income. So more bullish pressure for Ethereum potentially on the horizon here. Moving right along to Whale Insider, just in, publicly traded BTC Digital, BTCT, pivots from Bitcoin to Ethereum, raises 6 million with 1 million already deployed to buy Ethereum. So we're even seeing a little bit of rotation into Ethereum as well, but this definitely doesn't pose any threat to Bitcoin. But Ethereum beginning to catch a bid, and if Ethereum begins to rise and do some cool price movements, that could spur on an alt season as well. So something to pay attention to. And we have a fun post here from Bitcoin News asking if we are ready, and showing this chart right here since Bitcoin's genesis, all the major pumps, the banana zones, if you will. You got the 2013 banana zone, 2017, 2021, and here we are in 2025. And maybe at the base of the next big pump. So if that's what's coming next, I'm ready, let's go. And we have the chart of Ethereum on a daily time frame. And at the time of making this video, Ethereum's just kind of hesitating after making a really nice move to the upside. I do see that Ethereum is up about 1% at the time of making this video, and the daily candle still has about 6.5 hours remaining. If we look left, we also see that Ethereum is coming into contact with this price structure right back here. That does have some significance because that's when selling really began to accelerate to the downside. So to see Ethereum coming up into that area, kind of just hesitating right now, and on the heels of a beautiful move to the upside is nothing unusual. I mean, even if Ethereum wanted to pull back from this level a little bit and then make another attempt, it would still look incredibly bullish for Ethereum. So nothing unusual happening with the price action there. But for me, the next significant area for Ethereum is going to be this purple box up here. That purple box has a bottom side coming in at about 4,000 and a top side coming in at about 4,100. And that box is marking this pivot right here. And in recent history, that is where we saw sellers really step in and sold Ethereum off pretty significantly to the downside. So if we get daily candle bodies to close above that zone, whether that's in a week, 2 weeks, month, don't care about the timeline, what that would be signaling is that whoever was present and selling Ethereum back here is no longer present or out of ammo or simply not interested in selling Ethereum to the downside. And that would be essentially the bulls taking out the sellers back here. Daily candle body closures above that level and holding above that level, and probability begins to favor the bulls for another significant move to the upside for Ethereum. Now, will there be some, pullbacks along the way or some sideways trading? Yeah, probably. I mean, maybe Ethereum wants to kind of hesitate here for a bit before moving higher, or maybe the bulls just come flooding in and send it at like a rocket ship. I'm not worried about crystal balling those kinds of details. For me, the condition is just closing above that level. I want to see with my own eyes that the bulls are taking out the bears, and basically the market agreeing that Ethereum needs to be trading at higher price points. So all in all, looking pretty good. And you can see when I was doing analysis back here, I had a purple box on this pivot because at the time, this pivot was the last area where sellers tried to make an attempt on Ethereum. You can see we got that daily candle body closure right here, and it was supported on decent volume down below, and it held. It held above that zone, and as time went on, the probability began to favor the bulls, like I was saying, and boom, we got that nice move to the upside. And at this point in time, we see the 10 simple getting through that purple box now. We got the yellow 21 getting through there, and everything from a price action perspective is now beginning to posture itself bullishly for Ethereum. Even if Ethereum was to pull back from here and come all the way down and then pick itself back up, it would still have a very bullish structure. So things to me still look good for Ethereum. I'm not surprised that there's a bit of a hesitation here, but over time, the next big area that I'm watching is going to be that purple box right up above. Dropping into the price action of XRP on a daily time frame. Quick follow-up analysis from yesterday's video. In yesterday's analysis, I added this purple box to the chart right here that has a bottom side coming in at approximately $3.30 and a top side coming in at approximately $3.40. That purple box is simply marking out this pivot on the market right here. Back here in recent history, that's the last time we can see that sellers were able to enter the market in any meaningful way and sell XRP off to the downside, getting it all the way down to the white 200 simple moving average. So basically one of the last areas of resistance in recent history. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for XRP to start closing daily candles above that purple box, so above $3.40. If XRP manages to do that, whether that's today, tomorrow, in a week, I'm not worried about the timeline. As long as it starts closing those daily candles above that level, what that's telling us from a price action perspective is that whoever was present selling XRP off back here is either no longer in the market or simply out of ammunition. Getting candle bodies to close above that level on good volume and hold above there is essentially the market signaling to us that it agrees that XRP needs to be trading at higher levels, and it sets XRP up over time to make another significant leg to the upside. And so that's why I watch those levels. That's the last time we saw sellers come in and sell things off. So to see that area get taken out would be a healthy thing for XRP, similarly to what we saw down here. Now, when I started doing some analysis on XRP in recent history, it was trading in here. And I was saying, first of all, we want to get it above the white 200 simple moving average on a daily candle body closure. We got that right here. After that happened, what did we get? We got continuation to the upside. I also had this purple box on the chart here, which was marking this pivot back here. Again, I wanted to see candle body closures above that level because that's signaling to me that the sellers that were present here are getting taken out, and probability begins to favor the bulls into another leg to the upside, which is where we're at now, which is this pivot point right here. You can see once again that we got the daily candle body closure right here. Big old wick to the upside, but in fairness, the candle body did close up above, supported by good volume down below, and we even got the back test of that zone right here, which is known as an SR flip, where the former resistance becomes future support. So the former resistance, which was right here, where sellers stepped in and took the price down, became future support when it was back tested after that closure up above. So several confirmations revealed themselves, and very nice follow through to the upside for XRP. And since then, we're even seeing some of the moving averages get above that level too. Like the red 10 simple here is now up around $2.77. And we can see the yellow 21 coming into confluence with that zone as well. So not only are we seeing price action getting through that 200, taking out all these areas of resistance, but now we're seeing, moving averages begin to do the same thing. XRP is reposturing itself in a bullish way, absolutely right now. Now, if we drop down to some of the momentum, we are seeing that the stochastic momentum is in the critical zone. I've said over and over, it can stay in this zone for a period of time when there's a lot of bullish momentum present. The main thing here is that it is crossed to the upside, but it is still in that critical zone. So it's worth considering, but just remembering that it can be there for a period of time. Drop down to the RSI. The RSI is getting pretty critical now. It is coming in at a read of 86. But if I zoom this out, you can see that things can still get a bit crazier for the RSI as well. However, when I see the RSI start getting critical like this, what it's telling me is that, hey, maybe sometime soon, we're going to get some kind of short-term pullback or some form of cooling off in the price of XRP. At what price point? That's just all crystal ball stuff. I'm not worried about it. Like, could it happen right now as it hits resistance? Yeah, it could. I'm not worried that it does. I mean, if it did and we saw it, say, cool off and then make another attempt, that would still look extremely bullish to me for XRP. Or perhaps we see it break through, we get that condition met, the candle body closure, and maybe XRP moves even higher before it begins to cool off. But the main takeaway is when I see some of the momentum getting, really nuclear, like we're seeing the RSI right now, it's just saying, hey, maybe not add any risk to my position that I'm already holding in XRP, maybe wait for some of this to cool off. Observe what the price action does during that time. Does it hold a nice bullish structure? Is it holding the major moving averages? Is it taking out ranges? Those are all things to assess when that time comes. So we'll see what XRP does in the coming days, but it is knocking on the door of this condition now. Looking for that daily candle body closure, hold above that level. That will be taking out the sellers back here, and probability will continue to favor the bulls at that point in time. And diving into the price action of Solana on a daily time frame, we'll do a quick follow-up here on my last analysis where I was saying the first thing I'm looking for is a daily candle body closure above the white 200 simple moving average. You can see that area was challenged several times. We got some wicks up above that level, but no candle body closures until yesterday. We got this nice celery stick to the upside, nice candle body closure well above the 200, and so far we have this candle holding up above there as well. So first condition met. The second area I'm looking at is this purple box zone right here, because once again, that's marking out this pivot point right here where the sellers were able to step in for Solana and knock it right to the downside. So that is the next area of major resistance that I'm looking for in the midterm for Solana. I want to see daily candle body closures up above that purple box. The bottom side of that box is coming in at about 183, and the top side is coming in at approximately 187. If Solana starts closing daily candles above that box, supported by good volume down below, that's going to be signaling that the sellers back here are no longer present or out of ammo, and that the bulls will be taking over the chart. We want to see those confirmations where the bulls are showing us that they're taking out those sellers and that price action is able to hold above those levels, essentially flipping that former resistance into future support. So your classic SR flip. I don't care if Solana does it in a week, 2 weeks, whenever, tomorrow, fine. As long as it gets up there, holds above that level, probability continues to favor the bulls at that point in time, and likely over time, that's going to initiate Solana to move to much higher price points. Dropping down to some of the momentum, we see the stochastic is just kind of swerving around in the bullish control zone. We see it looking for a cross to the upside, but that cross to the upside is unconfirmed because at the time of making this video, the daily candle still has about 6.5 hours remaining. So it remains to be seen if the stochastic can get another cross to the upside there. Dropping into the RSI, we see that it is in the bullish control zone. We see that the EMA is positively sloped and has begun its journey also towards the bullish control zone. So basically, bulls still in control here. Dropping down to the MACD, we see the MACD is picking up momentum into the bullish control zone, and we see that the positive island of momentum on the histogram continues to build with now 2 solid green bars. So Solana looking pretty good here. What I would like to see, as I said earlier, is we want to see those daily candles start closing above this level here. And that's going to be showing us from a price action perspective that the market's beginning to agree that Solana needs to be trading at higher price levels. And jumping into the price action of SUI on a daily time frame. And we see lots of good things happening here for SUI. Obviously, it's had a beautiful run up recently, but from a technical analysis perspective, we see other positive things taking place. We got this daily candle body closure above that white 200 simple moving average. And since that candle body closed above there, we just see continuation to the upside. Not only are we getting price action opening and closing on a daily basis above that 200, but we're now seeing some of the other major moving averages begin to chase price action through there. We can see that the red 10 simple has gotten through there now, and we see the yellow 21 is through there as well. And even if SUI was to trade sideways here or move to the upside, it's going to drag more of these moving averages through that 200. So not only will we see the structure of price regaining a bullish posturing, but we'll also see the moving averages regaining a bullish posturing as well. So there's plenty of good things happening for SUI right now, but I do see it in contact with an area of resistance at the time of making this video, which I've marked with this purple box here. The bottom side of that purple box is coming in at approximately $4.12, and the top side coming in at approximately $4.30. And that's simply marking this pivot on the market right back here. In recent history, that's where sellers were able to step in and take over the price of SUI, at least for the midterm. So if we start getting daily candles closing up above that level and holding above that level, that's going to be telling us from a price action perspective that whoever was present and selling SUI back here is no longer present or out of ammo. So basically at that point in time, we're seeing the bulls taking out the bears. So to remain bullish on SUI and to see probability begin to favor SUI more and more, we definitely want to see those sellers taken out, especially when they were able to enter in any meaningful way. So that's my condition. You know, we're coming into contact with that resistance rate now. You know, if SUI grinds it sideways or even pulls back from here, wouldn't be unusual. But over time, what I'm looking for is daily candles to close up above that level. Now, if we drop down to some of the momentum on a daily, we can see the stochastic is in the critical zone, but it is looking for a fresh cross to the upside. But in all fairness, this daily candle still has about 6.5 hours remaining, at least from the time of recording. So that cross isn't confirmed just yet. RSI, well into the bullish control zone, has a little bit of room to run here. So if SUI wants to make an attempt at that resistance, there's some gas in the tank here that could support that kind of price action. We are seeing the EMA in the neutral zone, but nicely sloped to the upside, and not even in the bullish control zone just yet. So the RSI is letting us know that it's in the bullish control zone and that, you know, it does have some room to run. So, you know, SUI could make an attempt on this sooner than later. That is certainly possible. Dropping down to the MACD, we see that the MACD is in the bullish control zone, aggressively sloped to the upside, but we are seeing some of this positive momentum beginning to wane on the histogram here. We're getting a couple lighter colored bars of positive momentum, not a death sentence, but waning just slightly, which makes sense at a serious area of resistance. So could there be a little bit of hesitation here, maybe a little bit of a pullback from this area of resistance? Wouldn't be unusual. But if we look at some of the momentum, SUI still has a chance in the short term to take out this resistance sooner than later. If it doesn't manage to do that and we do see SUI pull back, maybe the whole market pulls back at some point soon, again, wouldn't be worried about it. SUI would still look bullish to me, even if it was to pull back and maybe even test this red 10 simple moving average down at $3.57. Wouldn't be unusual. But at the end of the day, whether it takes a week or two, I just want to see the sellers taken out that were present back here. And one of the ways to see that happen from a price action perspective would be the daily candle body closures above that area and then holding it. The SR flip, where the former resistance gets confirmed into future support. So that's the next big step for SUI. If it manages to do that, probability will continue to favor the bulls and will likely initiate some higher price targets for SUI. And that does it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thanks so much for coming by and checking out this video. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one. And until I do, have yourself a powerful day.